Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And man, we just did a video yesterday talking about how all the production in Hollywood has slowed to a halt in many cases. And now the Hollywood Reporter has an article out saying that Hollywood is at risk of becoming the next Detroit Auto.
Oh, wow.
The LA production insiders are voicing alarm that everybody's moving out of LA. They're slowing down productions to save money, and yeah, it's not sounding too good for Tinseltown. So we're gonna talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so just a little bit of a backstory here. There were multiple strikes. We had the pandemic, we had the fires, and everybody's like, survive until 25. Well, 2025 is here. And it's not going so well.
No, a lot of people didn't. That's the thing. A lot of the jobs are gone. Like half the jobs are gone.
Yeah. This was just a week or so ago. New York Times, Hollywood has not recovered jobs lost during the strikes. Report says if only somebody would have said something, but they attacked us for saying that this isn't going to go the way you think it's going to go. And here we are. And, here's another one. What the hell is happening in Hollywood right now? Nobody seems to know because there's no jobs. I mean, we can tell you what's happening. You just don't want to hear it. So this just came out today. A new tally shows plummeting shoot days in LA. Organizers gathered to strategize on a way to get post-production and music incentives included in California's bill to boost the industry. Well, somebody's got to pay for that, though.
Well, that's just it. It's going to be everybody else paying for it, not the rich. Because, the studios have money. They can pay for some of the boosting. They won't.
No, because it would benefit them to move out of California.
That's true.
I mean, seriously, they're looking at it. They're probably like, yeah, go ahead and crumble because we'll just move everything to Texas or Nevada or China. Well, I don't know if we can go to China, but we'll move it overseas. We don't have to stay in LA anymore. And they just realized, like, they woke up during the strikes and they're like, hey, we don't have to deal with Hollywood anymore. We don't have to deal with these unions if we don't want to.
Yeah, it's like, no kidding.
What? Yeah, we can just do whatever. Yeah. So it said the specter of Los Angeles becoming another Detroit, a city built on a specific industry that became a shell of its former self when that business moved out, loomed over a compelling film and TV industry town hall that tackled not only the calamitous drop in production in Hollywood and California, I got to take a breath, this is a long ass sentence, but also the fight to get the state to increase its entertainment production tax incentive.
Yeah, there's that tax incentive again, which, is what's going, one of the reasons they're losing is because other states like Georgia were giving big tax incentives, or other countries, and it's actually cheaper for them to fly everyone and all the equipment to another country and all that stuff than it is to film in LA.
Yeah. I mean, this is why, 10, 20 years ago, everybody was doing movies in like New Zealand and Australia and it's why a lot of businesses now are in Ireland, right? They're even TV shows, like you said, The Floor. I guess they film in Ireland. I think
The Floor is in Ireland. Yeah, that's what Squid said.
Yeah, because he was like, "Oh, I'm going to be a contestant." He's like, "Wait, I got to go to Ireland for that?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But this is Noelle Stemmen, member of the Stay in LA campaign. She said, "This is not hyperbole to say that if we don't act, the California film and TV industry is going to become the next Detroit Auto."
Wow.
Ironically, here's Detroit's new Hollywood sign. There it is. This is last year. Yeah, look at that, guys. We're booming. Business is booming, guys. We just like pulled these letters off a diner and just like slapped them up in somebody's front yard. But yeah, I mean, Detroit's not good. They need RoboCop. That's the thing. So the push for proposed increases in tax incentives is hitting a critical phase in the legislature. Here's the thing. We talked about this yesterday. Northern California doesn't want to pay for Southern California's problems.
Well, that's just it. Because, to give these incentives, you're going to have the money from somewhere. And California isn't exactly rolling in dough like they kept claiming they were, because it was so bad they were threatening people, weren't they, when they were leaving, that they still have to pay taxes in California just to keep their money. Because the people in charge of California have just, run it into the ground. Sorry, but it is what it is. So now the people that are left are expected to fork over more so that the entertainment industry, who doesn't give two shits about them normally, can stay there.
Now, here he actually kind of shot himself in the foot. So this is California State Senator Ben Allen and State Assemblyman, is it Rick Zabur? Zuber were on hand to make an effort to get the necessary votes in. One major hurdle is politicians who see the incentive as a corporate giveaway to movie studios and media companies. But he said the studios don't care where they do the work. This is what we told you guys. They don't care as long as they're producing product. They don't care where it's made, right? He said they'll do it anywhere. They're still producing shows.
So a lot of celebrities, but that's a whole other story.
Right. They're still producing shows, but a lot of our colleagues simply don't understand is that this is a middle-class problem. The studio heads are going to bed in Bel Air no matter what. That's true. It is true. That's what we tried telling you. We weren't trying to be dicks when we talked about the strikes. We just said, this is not going to go the way you think it's going to go because they have options now. They don't need you. They can go anywhere now and make. It's not 20 years ago. It's not 30 years ago where everything had to be in LA, right? Now it's a global economy, and it's California is very expensive.
Frankly, I'm surprised it's taken this long for LA to collapse. To be honest with you, because it's been years. It's been that you can go anywhere. I mean, you were going anywhere before, like computers and crap. But like now, especially with everything being online and stuff, it hasn't been necessary for a long time now.
No, and even filming locations. I mean, we're in the Pittsburgh area, and they were, the Dark Knight Rises was filmed in Pittsburgh. I couldn't get off work that day.
Inspector Gadget was too, because I remember seeing him hang out of the helicopter.
Was. But the bridge scene. Yeah, we go over that bridge all the time. But it was filmed in Pittsburgh, and some of the a lot of prop. We actually have a friend who used to supply props to Hollywood productions, and they had kind of and that's going to be the new normal. It's going to be decentralized, which I think for independents I think is fantastic, because you're not going to have to pay ridiculous LA prices anymore to make movies. But
you don't have to, they're going to have to relax the grip these unions have too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is going to happen naturally when everybody moves out of California because they can't afford to stay because they pulled the plug on production in LA. Then you're not going to have anybody paying your union dues, so the unions will dissolve, and then they'll just continue to outsource stuff.
So this next paragraph, this is not a tax giveaway. It's a job program that's keeping people in their homes, keeping people in employment. No. It's not. It's a tax giveaway. Basically, you're giving money to the rich executives and rich studios who can afford to film there. They just choose not to save themselves money. Yeah. And then using the fact that all the middle class people are going to get, be punished if you don't. And that's bullshit, because you're just basically asking the same people that you're supposed to be saving to pay for the taxes for you to do this. Yeah.
And again, California is a big state, and we have a lot of people, a lot of business owners that they have zero interest in what goes on in LA. They don't care. It doesn't affect them. They're like, hey, I have to pay for my own employees up north. I don't care. Why do I have to pay to keep these people working in Hollywood? Because if Hollywood moves, if it moves to Texas or moves to Nevada, if it were anybody else, any other industry, why are you special? They would just tell you to move along with it. Like,
that's what I'm not understanding. It's like, if you're giving out, tax incentives to studios who are already rich and all that stuff to keep them there, then why aren't you giving tax incentives to businesses or whatever? You're not. You're asking the people, even including the people you're supposed to be helping, to pay more in taxes or to give you money or to have this money taken away, to pay the rich more so they stay there to keep you employed. Does that even make sense? And it does, but it's like, it's a really shitty thing to do. And then on top of it, like you said, no other industry is getting this tax incentive either.
No, I would actually argue, this is California, so they're trying to keep, because they want all the tax revenue, but I'd be like, if you're really concerned about people working in the film and TV industry, if the film and TV industry is moving, then come up with a fund to help them with their relocation expenses. They can buy a lot cheaper house in Nevada than you can in Southern California. No.
They want the industry to stay there so they can brag that they have the film industry. But they're so busy, in California, they keep running out of money and making stupid decisions and paying unemployment for everything and all this other stuff. And then I was thinking about how much money and time was wasted on making sure toy aisles were stopped being marked male and female.
I know, right?
I'm like, you could have used some of that money for your tax incentives.
You could have. They made a lot of really poor choices, and they're going to go broke. But to have them come out and say that LA is going to look like Detroit is crazy. It said panels on post-production music underscored the loss those artistic communities have been undergoing. So they said, for 18 months they've been out of work. 3 months out of 18 months. That's the thing. I mean, we're hearing a lot of this. We're seeing a lot of this. I know we get a lot of shit for talking about the animation industry, but everything I've seen on Reddit and from a lot of veterans in the industry is that animation is in worse shape than the rest of Hollywood because not a lot of shows are getting greenlit right now. And it's very expensive to produce. I mean, I'm not saying that nothing is getting greenlit, but there are an awful lot of unemployed animators right now, an awful lot of them. And a lot of stuff's being sent overseas, or Netflix is just importing it because why not? Why pay to produce a show when it's already there? You just have to bring it over and dub it.
And now you have California, like a bunch of stuff, over that way in LA got burned down. Is it going to even get rebuilt? But there was jokes people were making that they probably, are going to suddenly take these swaths of land and turn it into something because the Olympics are coming and everything else.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. This is the problem that it became very apparent, I think, especially during the pandemic, that California was not the place to be. And I think the studio started thinking what happens if this happens again? We need to go, because they were probably thinking if we were in Florida or Texas, we wouldn't have to shut down production.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking the Beverly Hillbillies song. They said California is not the place to be.
No, run away. So
they load up their trucks and they moved to Tennessee.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, pretty much. It's gonna happen, guys. It's not sustainable. Everybody's talking about making stuff cheaper. You can't make it cheaper in California with the cost of living being so high. I mean, you have to pay somebody a minimum of $125,000 a year to just survive out there, and you can go get the same person or somebody as qualified as that person in another state for half as much.
Less mental illness too, I'm sure.
Less mental illness, right? So it is what it is. But there we go. We're gonna wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.